And go ahead and state your name with the spelling so I have it correct.
Okay, perfect. It's Chris Kale, Chriskael, from Five Finger Death Punch, bassist.
All right. Okay, I'm going to start with, I have 3 psychological questions
Oh,
that I
my.
ask everyone.
Okay.
They might sound like a little bit of hogwash, but I swear there's a psychological basis behind them.
Okay, I got it.
First question. If you were a unicorn and you could be any color but white, what color would you be and would you have any special powers?
I would be camouflage, because that would automatically give me the power to not be seen. Camouflage is what I go for.
Any color camouflage?
Any
like
color
traditional green or white grays or?
I would like to be chameleon camouflage. That way, depending upon wherever I'm at, able to adapt to the environment and lay low when need to be, and then come out with that horn and then make my presence known at other times.
All right. Second question. Again, this is another one. Feel free to use your imagination.
Okay.
If you were a yogurt, would you be mixed fruit on the bottom, and what flavor? And like I said, it does not have to be a traditional flavor.
Okay, let's see. Mixed fruit or fruit on the bottom? I have no idea on this one. These are good questions, by the way. These are the ones that make you think. Instead, oh yeah, the album's coming out Tuesday, July 30th. You're like, what the hell do I say on this one? I would say fruit on the bottom for me, because that makes you work to get to the fruit rather than just having the work done for you. I would be fruit on the bottom. And just own personal preference, I would go with like a mixed berry of sorts. That way you kind of get flavors of strawberry, blueberry, raspberry, all that stuff to kind of give you a different feel, a different taste in every bite.
Nice.
Yep. I don't know what that says about me psychologically, but I'll let you guys figure that part out.
All right. Next is psychological question. Describe yourself as far as physical characteristics and personality traits.
Okay.
Describe yourself as either a dog, a cat, or a cartoon.
Clearly, characteristic-wise, physically, it's cartoon. Who the hell else does this? So clearly, physical characteristics would be a cartoon. It's an acquired look. Personality-wise, I would say probably a dog, because I have the capabilities to both be vicious as well as incredibly loyal as well. So a dog in that sense. Yeah.
What is your biggest musical fantasy? And feel free to pull in dead people.
Okay, very nice. I like to think realistically. We are at the point right now where things are going incredibly well for us. We're out here on the Mayhem Festival right now. New album coming out this coming Tuesday. And I think the next step for us would be able to be taken under the wing of Metallica and do a full world tour with those guys. They have a huge audience. I'm a huge fan of Metallica. Been listening to those guys since, it started off with Master of Puppets for me, and then I kind of backtracked and found the older stuff. But yeah, to have heard those first notes coming off a battery on Master of Puppets, and to now have our own audience and need to learn from someone as big as Metallica about how to get from where we are to closer to where they are. That would be my biggest musical fantasy, to be taken under the wing of those guys and do a full world tour and learn and watch from those guys to, kind of see where we need to go to further develop.
Now, they just did the Orion Festival here in Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
Is that something that would be of interest to you?
For sure. Our good friends Battlecross were handpicked for that one as well. So,
they're also from
for sure.
Here.
We did the Golden Gods with Metallica back in May. And, to have that one-day experience into a full year of touring with those guys, James, call me. We'll get this done.
Now, as far as personal preference, what is your favorite way to travel?
Favorite way to travel? Motorcycle, for sure. We actually have some motorcycles in a trailer behind us out here on the Mayhem Fest, and it has made days off all the more enjoyable, and also out here on Mayhem, sometimes, like today, between this stage and the second stage, it's quite a haul. So to be able to hop on the motorcycle and just pop over there and check out Battlecross, Machine Head, Motionless in White, it makes things a whole lot easier. So,
For sure.
hands down, motorcycle travel.
Now, do you have any places that are your favorite to travel to?
Yep.
And is there anywhere you have not been to that you would like to go to?
My favorite places to travel to are all scuba diving oriented. I'm a huge scuba diver.
I used to live in Key West.
Oh, nice, nice.
Lobster season's starting right now.
There we go. Man, I love
my dad's down there doing
Central America, Belize, Roatan, Honduras, Utila. Love all those spots. I dove in Vietnam, Fiji, and yeah, anywhere that's scuba oriented. I'm really hoping that we get a chance next year to head over to Japan and Australia because I really want to dive the Great Barrier Reef. A big thing for me, I want to be in the cage while they're feeding great white sharks. I really want to do that. So places I haven't been, Australia, preferably actually off the coast of Africa, where all the great whites are, cold water diving, feeding the sharks.
They do the surfing there too, right?
Yeah, I'm not that big of a surfer. I don't have quite the balance for that.
I don't either. So
yeah,
don't feel bad.
I would definitely break something out there, and that's not good for me or for potential tours coming up. So yeah, probably South Africa to dive with the great white sharks, I would say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now getting back to some of the basic stuff, how did you first get started in music? Did you come from a musical family? And what were some of your earliest influences?
My first influences were my mom and dad. My mom played the flute in high school band, so she was, that was my musical inspiration. And then my dad, hard worker, so I got my work ethic from him. So musical talent from mom, hard work, and perseverance from my dad. Musical influence, my very first person that I ever saw that really did it for me was Gene Simmons from Kiss. I was watching a show called 3-2-1 Contact as a little kid, like 3 or 4, and they're talking about the lights and the production and Gene spitting blood, and at 3 years old I was like, that's what I want to do. Didn't realize how to go about doing that at that point, but I eventually picked up the bass, and actually I picked up guitar first, and I was kind of like, this doesn't feel right. I want to do this, but it just wasn't it. And then a friend of mine brought over a bass guitar to my house, and as soon as I put that thing on, hit that first note, I was like, oh, this is what I've been looking for. So, I just kept on practicing. I was the kid that would go to the first couple of classes at school and then meet my friends at my house and have band practice. That was me. And instead of going to school, I was stopping at the pinball machine at the local CVS and then heading back home and doing band practice for 6 hours. And yeah, I always knew that's what I wanted to do, and kept on going. So
now, have you dabbled with any other instruments besides guitar and bass?
Lots of different things. Very fluent in bass. I have a working knowledge of guitar where I'm able to write on a guitar. I'm no shredder like Jason Hook by any means, but definitely very song oriented when I'm writing on guitar. I actually did a little bit of clarinet growing up. Yeah, that's where I learned to read music, was from the clarinet. Doing that at Lafayette High School, playing in the high school band, and little drums. Focus on blast beats basically on that, just to be obnoxious because I like that. So yeah, I'm not very good at drums though. I can bust out a blast beat.
Nice. Now, for you, when it comes to writing, what comes first? Is it the guitars, the vocals, the drums, or is it something else? And has the process changed for you at all during your career?
It used to be for me about being as heavy as possible. I'm big fans of, way back in the day, like Napalm Death, Anal Cunt, Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza, just fucking brutal, and that's where my focus was growing up. At some point I heard, speaking of Rob Zombie, I heard White Zombie and Pantera. It was like, oh, this groove thing is what I really like.
Yeah.
So that kind of developed my style. And now it's more about the song. I can shred with the best of them, but I want to write the best song possible and reach as many people as I can through the power of the song. You can only be so brutal before it kind of becomes numbing. So it's all about the song. When it comes to writing albums, it's all about the flow of the album. Heavy, lighter, back to heavy, taking the listener on a journey. So I've definitely come from trying to be incredibly brutal as I can to incorporating that into the best song possible.
Now, as far as personal style goes, do you have a favorite musical technique?
The one thing that I learned in the development of my bass playing came from Jason Newsted. Well, not the one thing, but probably the most important thing that represents my style now. Jason Newsted spoke about the right hand technique, and at that point, playing heavier stuff, I was doing the back and forth, up and down picking. And Jason Newsted was talking about how he developed constant down picking. You'll see that when I'm playing on stage. I'm always down picking. It gives you a better attack, makes things sound a little bit heavier, a little bit more oomph to it. So that right there was probably as Oprah Winfrey would say, and yes, Chris Cale from Five Finger Death Punch just cited Oprah Winfrey, put that on Blabbermouth, that was my aha moment, down picking, and that changed my style completely, made my right hand incredibly fast. Now, because of the fast down picking, really got a strong right hand, gallop technique. So Jason Newsted talking about that in Circus Magazine developed my personal right hand pick style.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, for you, what, in your opinion, is the coolest thing about what you're currently working on?
Currently working on a whole lot of touring, working on getting this new record out on Tuesday. With that in mind, the coolest thing is being able to open up to new audiences. I'm a very positive guy. Any of the interviews you've seen or my tweets, Facebook posts, Instagram posts, I'm a very, very positive guy. I like to positively affect the lives of others, and to have that audience continue to grow, and for me to be able to touch more lives,